Dion Napier with Amplify Vocal Studio. I want to talk to you guys about 3 easy steps to belting for classical singers and voice teachers. Okay, a simple 3-step process to help you all who are wanting to transition from classical singing into commercial style. Not saying you want to come all the way out, but you're wanting to expand your vocal skill set and expand your teaching skill set. I am here to help you with that. So I know a lot of you guys want to belt, especially when you're singing pop music. You know that you cannot take that classical head dominant quality into pop music. But all you know, especially when it comes to belting, welcome to you guys who are joining live. All you know is to get a beltier sound is to drag that chest voice up or flip into an operatic head voice. And neither one of those are sustainable choices, okay? So when we're talking about belting, I want to talk to you about lower mixed belt and or lower belt, really lower mixed belt, because to belt sustainably, you have to have mix in there. But I want to talk about that more chest drag belt that usually gets a bad rap, and I'll explain why it gets a bad rap. And you should not be doing this sustainable. You should not be doing this all the time. This is the type of belting that you do like 5% of the time, and every other time you are in a mixed belt coordination so you don't destroy your instrument, okay? But I believe you need to know how to do a little bit of that chest drag, just so if you need it for expressing a certain emotion in your music or to communicate something when you're storytelling, you need to have that tool in your toolbox, but you do not use it often, okay? Hear me and hear me well. So the first step, especially with classically trained sopranos, we got to get you reconnected with your speech level chest voice. When I say speech level, I mean we cannot bring that head voice down like we do in classical, because that is a distinctively classical trait. So you can't do that. And you also got to cut some of that vibrato to get a more commercial sound in your classical voice. So what I like to do is an exercise on no, 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 no. And I just sing it just like as if I were speaking it. So, no, 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 no. Oh, no. No, 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 no. Oh, no. No, 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 no. Oh, no. Just really short and detached. Like I said, cut the vibrato. You're not bringing head voice down. You just want to reconnect with that speech level. And for a lot of classical sopranos, because you've been singing classical music so much and haven't been using more of this chest dominant voice, those muscles are usually really weak. But I want you to be encouraged that they can be re-strengthened, okay? It'll take some time, but they can be re-strengthened. One thing I like to do to help ladies get in this kind of frame of mind, imagine if someone were taking something that you really love, like if someone were trying to take your purse. Do you know what I'm saying? Or if you're trying to get somebody's attention across the street, like, hey, you know, you have to put a little aggression in there, right? Or something that pisses you off, like if somebody's taking off slowly at the stoplight, you like, go. You see what I'm saying? You got to put a little bit of in there. That's what you're doing when you're doing this speech level chest voice, okay? So if you need to imagine that, go ahead and do it. No, 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 no. Oh, no. No, 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 no. Oh, no. No, 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 no. Oh, no. No, 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 no. Oh, no. No, 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 no. Oh, no. Okay, so that's one exercise that you can use to start strengthening those chest voice muscles again. Okay, so that's the first step. Reconnect with your speech level chest voice. The second step is going to be to use or apply gentle air compression. And so classical singers, this is the same concept as classical appoggio, how we lean upon the breath. It's the same thing. When you are belting, the tendency is to try to make the belt louder. So you're increasing the air pressure. That is the incorrect thing to do. Belting is already loud. It has to do with the overtones that are naturally occurring in that little belt region. So you don't have to push and squeeze and make it louder, okay? On the contrast, you want to have gentle air compression. So it would be like if you were saying, doing some hand slides. So if you were saying, hey, not hey. You hear how that feels squeezed, how that sounds super super loud. The chords are really tightly squeezed, and eventually I'm going to hit a ceiling. Do you see what I'm saying? You don't want that. It's gentle air compression. Hey, that's the feeling that you want at the breath level when you are approaching lower mixed belt. Okay, so don't squeeze too hard and try to make it loud. Just relax. Use that gentle appoggio like you do in classical, and that is enough. Okay. Now, the third step is that you want to keep your larynx as neutral as possible. So when you're doing a lower mixed belt, chest dominant or heavy mixed belt, it's normal and natural for that larynx to rise a little bit. Okay, it's going to happen, but you want to try to control it. Keep it as neutral as possible. And it's not dangerous that the larynx is rising. It's not, but you don't want to keep it there. Do you know what I'm saying? Again, I'm going to reiterate, this kind of belting that I'm talking about today, lower mixed belt where you're dragging chest voice up, you do this like 5% of the time. You do it sparingly. It's just for effect or something like that. This cannot be your foundational way of belting. Otherwise, you can ruin and injure your instrument, okay? Now, so when I say keep the larynx as neutral as possible, I'm going to show you an exercise and put all three together. So, I'm going to do hey ya, hey ya. You hear how I'm doing that gentle air compression, leaning on that H. Hey ya, hey ya. Really gentle. One more. Now, ladies especially, guys is a little bit different for y'all, but ladies especially, when you're working on this belt and you're not used to using your chest voice muscles, it's not uncommon that the voice will get tired. It may get a little shaky. When you start to feel that, don't fear. Just know you've hit your limit for that day. Take a break. Probably take a break the next day and then come back the following day, okay? Because when you're doing this type of belting, it is more athletic. It is heavy lifting. And your voice has only been used to bringing head voice down, which is a lighter singing approach, okay? So it's gonna feel heavy. It's supposed to feel that way. It's chest dominant, thicker vocal cord mass coming together, okay? So just know that. Pace yourself and go as high as you can and then come down. The more that you do and stretch and train and build the muscle down there, you will be able to extend it a little bit higher, okay? But the goal is not to drag chest all the way, because once you hit D5, you're going to have to flip into a mixed coordination. You're going to have to, okay? So anyway, I'll talk about that later, but then you want to come back down, okay? Gentle air, not hey, gentle hey ya, hey ya, hey ya. All right, so those are the three steps. Let's see, it looks like there's a question. Someone says, I'm a guy. I have a hard time getting into my mix because I have a mix, but it's more like a rock mix and not an R&B mix, and it's very disconnected. So what advice do you have to develop that? You need to establish a balanced mixed voice. That's going to be your foundational mix. You can change the styles and the textures and all of that, but you need a foundational, what I call balanced mix. And the way you're going to do that, you have to learn how to add the whiny pharyngeal resonance in your chest range as well as in your head range. Okay, and that's a nice gentle mix. So to add the pharyngeal resonance, I have a lot of videos on that. It's that whiny crybaby sound. So it's going to be exercises like monkey noises. Those are excellent to do. So it's going to be exercises like ooh, I'll do it in my range. So ooh ooh ah ah ah. 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 It's gonna be stuff like that. Okay. There's gonna be a contemporary style chiaroscuro. That's just a classical term that means bright and dark. So when you're finding that balanced mix, you want to have that bright chiaro but you also need the scuro, ooh, ooh, to balance that sound. That is how I would tell you to develop that. Okay, good question. Thank you for asking. Any other questions before I hop off? Any other questions? I will let you guys know that my Basics of Mix and Belt 8-week course for classically trained singers and voice teachers is now open. Registration closes in 48 hours on Tuesday the 19th. So if you're a classically trained singer or voice teacher and you're wanting to learn how to sing contemporary styles, you know that you're needing these skills. You're a voice teacher, you're getting students that want to sing musical theater and pop styles, but all you know is bel canto technique and you feel like an imposter. I created this course for you. By a classical singer for other classical singers, because I know the struggles, the hangups, and the mental challenges that come when we're trying to cross over from singing classical into singing contemporary styles, okay? So if you're watching this, if you catch it before registration closes, just click the link in my bio and submit an application. This program is application only. It's 8 weeks working with me in group and one-on-one to get this mixed belt foundation solidified. Because these are the first skills that you have to know and you have to have when you're crossing over from classical into contemporary, okay? So again, this is only for advanced level classical singers and voice teachers. This is not for beginner singers at all. Okay, this is for advanced level classical singers and voice teachers. That's my audience who I'm talking to. Okay, so if that's you, click the link in the description here on YouTube, or you can DM me the word belt on Instagram. I'm Amplify Vocal Studio, Dr. Dion Napier on Instagram. You can shoot me a DM that says belt, get it in by Tuesday the 19th, and we can see if the course would be a fit for you. Replay watchers, thank y'all. I love my replay watchers. Drop your questions, drop your comments. I'll come back and answer those. If there are no other questions, you guys have a great day. Amit, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. I hope what I told you makes sense. Let me know if that made sense for you. I hope it did. You can drop it in the comments. I got to hop off. But you guys have a great evening. Thanks for joining me live. I'll be back. Bye-bye.